Oh, this story is absolutely crazy. How did a melted almond joy bar trigger a sequence of events that led to a cop killing a man? A Florida man was killed by a sheriff's deputy after he ran into his grandmother with a car when he was in a rage. This was after she left an almond joy bar to melt on top of his computer, and of course this was on accident. Henry Maynard was from Polk County, Florida, and he got into a very heated argument with his grandmother after she brought him an almond joy bar and left it on top of his computer while he was asleep. She tried to do a kind act for him. When he woke up though, he saw it had melted on his computer. I guess his computer got hot and he went into a rage. He then ran nearly a mile to his parents' house where he picked up a bag and got into one of their vehicles. Reportedly, Henry then called 911 and told authorities he was about to commit a crime. He was later confronted by a Polk County sheriff's deputy and his family, who was said to be very worried about him. He reversed the vehicle he was driving into his 81-year-old grandmother, then rammed the vehicle into Sheriff Deputy Christian Quattlebaum's patrol vehicle. That was before he tried to enter it. He was then shot dead by Deputy Quattlebaum. Reportedly, his grandmother had a broken arm and she was taken to a nearby hospital after she was run over by her grandson. It was said that Henry didn't even have a driver's license, but he took a car that was unregistered from his parents' home, and that's when he called 911. He told the dispatcher that he was about to commit a crime and he needed to be able to escape. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but those were his words. Shortly after he got into the car, his grandmother then called his parents and said he's here in the car and he's in a rage. Reportedly, Henry's mom worked as a Polk County detention deputy for 10 years and his dad was a nurse. They then made their way to the scene after the grandmother called them. He was then confronted by his family, his parents, and Deputy Quattlebaum. This was near Oakwood Estates in Winter Haven, Florida. Henry, however, refused to cooperate and he reversed the car he was in and ran over his grandmother, or I should say he knocked over his grandmother, before he then accelerated into the sheriff's deputy's car. Then he tried to get inside the patrol vehicle. Neighbors said he jumped out of the vehicle he was driving in an absolute rage like a madman and ran to the driver's side door of the deputy's vehicle and stayed yanking on it until he was able to open the vehicle, and then he climbed in. It was said that at that time the deputy was trying to get out of the passenger side of the car because he didn't know what Henry was doing. So he then pulled out his gun and he shot him during all this chaos. It was said Henry's dad tried to save his life with CPR, but he was pronounced deceased at the scene. Reportedly, Deputy Quattlebaum has worked for the sheriff's office for a little over 4 years, and he was treated for his injuries. The incident is now being investigated by the 10th Judicial Circuit's Officer-Involved Deadly Incident Task Force. I'm not really sure what to think about this. I'm not sure if Deputy Quattlebaum was trying to defend himself, and that's why he shot him. I'd have to get a good bit more of information and details before I formed an opinion about this, but the investigation is ongoing and I'm sure it will be determined whether or not the shooting was warranted soon. Either way, prayers go out to his mom and dad as they had to see their son get shot and killed.